Wakey, wakey, hands off of Snakey. Yeah, you had that wonderful, beautiful girl last night. You thought she was yours. You plied her with alcohol, and it just didn't work. Hashtag me too. Hashtag you blew it, dude.
It happens to everybody.
It's Saturday morning, and now you're feeling the pain because of all the drinking, all the liquid courage. That's okay.
Get your coffee.
Uncle Dave and I are here to get you through your weekend. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
And what time is it, Dave?
It's time to rock.
Now, of course, we're playing catch up. Uncle Dave was sick last week. That's okay. We've still got plenty of music to talk about because we're going to discuss. We're not going to do a formal review. We're going to discuss the deluxe 4-CD version of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live at the Fillmore 1997.
We're focusing on the covers.
Right.
The 37 covers.
Yeah. That was my fault. That was my problem because when I initially looked at this and I made the call, said, Dave, we can't not talk about this. This is an awesome, ridiculous collection. But we're not going to do a review. Let's just review the covers. And I was thinking it'll be half and half, half and half. It turns out 3/4 of the box set, the deluxe edition, is covers. So I talked about the first 2/3 of Live at the Fillmore last week. Now we're going to bring Dave in. He'll give you his views. And then, of course, he and I will share our look at the 4th CD, I guess you'd call it, the back half, which I did not get to last week. So,
yeah, running through. So, what song did you leave off with, and then I can play catch up to that point?
Well, like I said, I kind of cheated and I looked to see on the CD version how it was split. So I got through the John Lee Hooker trilogy, Find My Baby, Serves You Right to Suffer, and Boogie Chillin'. And then Ray Charles, the cover of I Got a Woman, and that was where I stopped. That's the first 3 discs up to that point.
Okay. So you really pretty much got through a lot of it.
Yeah, but again, number one, I needed content since you were sick and dying.
That's true.
But number 2, I was vague enough where we could still discuss what you feel about some of those covers previously, and then both knock out Knocking on Heaven's Door and Johnny Be Good and all that stuff on disc 4.
All right. So we'll run through these first 29 here real quick. Let me do some quick math.
Just pick the ones you like, pick the ones you didn't.
All right. It'll take me longer here to go through the ones that I did not like.
See, I was a little more pessimistic about this.
So.
Okay.
All right. Actually, I'll skip the mediocre ones. I'll just go with the ones I liked, the ones I didn't. I kind of liked Around and Around, Chuck Berry. Did not like their version of Call Me the Breeze. That was awful.
I agree completely on that.
So mundane and blah.
Agree completely.
So I did like Time Is on My Side and Waiting in School. Ain't No Sunshine was pretty decent.
See, I liked the combo of You Are My Sunshine and Ain't No Sunshine.
You Are My Sunshine was okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm just going through what I liked and didn't. If it was mediocre, I'm ignoring it right now because it was okay. Rip It Up and I'd Like to Love You, Baby. You can just do away with them. Did not like those at all. Rip It Up was too damn slow. And I'd Like to Love You was just generic blues. And my whole problem with these is they all sounded the damn same. There was no freaking attempt to do anything with them. They all sounded the same.
Then why are you sitting there starting off and saying you have more you liked than more you didn't? Because now you're sounding exactly
I said
like me.
more I didn't like than I liked.
I must have misunderstood you.
Out of the entire thing, there were 14 I didn't care for at all, and only 9 that I really liked.
Okay, because that's where I went in my discussion last week.
Yeah, no, they were just so...
I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So, Little Maggie was just bad.
Oh, you skipped a whole bunch there.
They were okay.
Diddy
Diddy Want Diddy, Guitar Boogie Shuffle,
right.
I Want You
the
Back.
Ones.
They were all right. Hip Hugger was okay. I know it's the Dead, but I kind of like this version of Friend of the Devil.
You got to listen to the Counting Crows version. Counting Crows do a killer version.
Do they?
Of Friend of the Devil.
Nice. Yeah. No, this one I liked. Really, you really got me sucked. They missed an opportunity to do something with it.
I thought it was okay. So, not great, but okay. And
then, I'm sorry, Goldfinger, you're just going to do the fucking instrumental. That's a complete cop-out.
But that was the one that kind of sucked us in when we saw that sitting there.
And it was bad. Did not like it. It Won't Be Wrong, The Birds, I kind of like that one. And then the next 2, You Ain't Going Nowhere, and Drugstore Truck Driving Man, no, pass. Crazy Mama, bye-bye. High Heel Sneakers, bye-bye. It Serves You Right to Suffer, bye-bye. Boogie Chillin', I liked. And then I Got a Woman. Sorry. They didn't do Ray any justice with that one.
Okay, so you and I are pretty close on this. There was one song that I did not bring up last week that I want to bring up. It's not necessarily cover, but going back when you mentioned Friend of the Devil, right after that is an absolutely fun as hell song, which maybe you didn't listen to, called Heartbreakers Beach Party. That thing is an absolute blast.
I did not listen to it.
I don't know if that is just something they came up with on the fly. It's not a cover song. It's them.
No, it's them, yeah.
But I don't think that's on any of their albums either. I crossed it off because, it wasn't a cover song. Kind of going back to the first CD with The Date I Had with That Ugly Old Homecoming Queen.
I actually listened to that
because I didn't know if that was a cover or not.
I actually was looking it up and found on Ultimate Classic Rock, they listed them all and had a story behind them. But they only had 36 listed. They did not include You Are My Sunshine.
Well, 36 might be just the 2 CD version.
No, because they covered everything all the way through.
They did?
They just missed You Are My Sunshine. They omitted that for some reason.
Yeah, well, it's the kids' song, but I liked how it segued into Ain't No Sunshine.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was clever.
It was really neat.
Now, you mentioned the Birds.
Yep.
I did like their cover of 8 Miles High.
That was okay.
That was one of my favorite Bird songs. And we'll talk more about the Birds later. I love the instrumental Green Onions.
That was okay.
It's
a classic. It's
you
can't screw that one up.
I did like how, I don't know how you feel about this. I thought this set brought out more in terms of positive vibes for the backups, the Heartbreakers.
Yeah, they got a little bit more.
Tom Petty comes off as a little dull over this whole set.
Yes, he
Whereas
does.
Mike Campbell, Benmont Tench are a lot better in a supporting role.
Yeah.
Helping out Tom Petty. Tom Petty does not have that charisma that we would want and expect from him on this set. Didn't mean to jump in, but now, since we're going to disc 4, we can both talk about
Here we go.
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
It was okay.
let me just say this.
It's done to death.
All these songs, for the most part, are done to death. It's
they
either
are.
done to death or, like you said, obscure, boring, sounds the same, old rockabilly, R&B, blues stuff.
Yeah, there was.
Pick a different Rolling Stone song other than Satisfaction. Pick a different Kinks song other than You've Really Got Me. Pick a different Dylan song other than Knocking on Heaven's Door, for God's sakes.
I know. It was.
I
It
mean,
was painful.
It sounded to me like they're, even though this is back in '97, they're consulting with Dolly Parton for her rock album, where she's picking the easiest, most predictable songs to cover.
Yeah, the things that you can't screw up,
Now,
but they did anyway.
I have a question for you. We talked about Boogie Chillin', right? Now, jumping into disc 4, County Farm. Is that or is that not LaGrange?
I thought it sounded a hell of a lot like LaGrange.
I did actually way more research on this than I should have, wasting 15, 20 minutes of my life, because the riff is, they admit ZZ Top plucked the riff from Boogie Chillin', but Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers play County Farm, and it sounds almost
a bit like yeah,
LaGrange.
yeah.
And I'm like, no, wait, LaGrange does not translate to County Farm.
Does not in any way, shape, or form.
No.
But yeah.
Same guitar riff.
I know.
Exact same guitar solo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they just phoned it in on this whole cover thing.
It got better after this, though, I think. Well, after Johnny Be Good was eh.
Yeah, Shakin' All Over was not good.
I think once they hit Satisfaction, then it felt like it started to take off as a live album. You started to feel more energy from the band and the crowd.
A little bit, but still, It's All Over Now wasn't anything to write home about.
I thought it was all right.
I didn't like it. And then wrapping up with Louie Louie and Gloria, they were okay.
I thought Gloria was really good. His little interlude there talking.
Yeah, the interlude was cool, but it was okay.
He had some very bizarre references in his little interlude, though. Talking about Tom Snyder, who, even in 1997, who was watching Tom Snyder in 1997?
I did on occasion.
I thought he was dead by 1997.
No. He was actually wittier than he normally gets credit for.
So, I'm sorry. Initially, I might have thought that we were on different pages here. It sounds like we're pretty much on the same page when it comes to this. Just covers didn't have enough to really make it a 4 CD.
No, it was
extravagant, awesome, fantastic box set.
You would hope from the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers that if they're doing a cover, they're going to do a cover. And the mass majority of these fell so damn flat. I hate to say it, but it was almost a waste of time going through this.
Well, and again, that's why I initially did not want to do a full review.
Yeah.
Especially on 4 CDs and a live album to boot.
Yeah.
Because that goes against our Sports Frenzy rules.
Right. But we thought covers, something different. It's not the same old songs you hear all the time. Nope. Pass on it, people.
Yeah. Again, not a formal review, no rating, but I got to agree with Dave. I don't think this is something, even a Tom Petty diehard, I don't know if they would even enjoy this that much.
No, I can't see them even enjoying this. Like we initially said, they all pretty much sound the damn same.
Yeah, if it's not a song that you've heard on the radio 50,000 times, again, like Satisfaction.
But still, they sounded very similar to everything else. You just could pick up on the nuances a little bit better.
But yeah, the old school stuff
But it was
definitely
still the
same.
same chords. It was still the same beat. The time they were keeping to it, it was all the same, even when it should have been faster.
Agreed completely. So the Conquistador and I would recommend you do not waste your time like we did on the 4 CD version of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers live at the Fillmore 1997. So now Dave's got a couple songs to catch up on from last week.
Yep. Winery Dogs, Mad World. This had a nice bluesy groove to it, kind of a 70s funk that was very interesting.
Yeah, anytime I hear the title Mad World, I automatically think back to Cat Stevens, but this is a completely new song.
Whole different run, kind of rocks a little bit more than the Cat Stevens stuff would, but
oh yeah. It wouldn't take much.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, this one is a solid 2.5 for me.
I think that's what I gave it to last week. Yeah. I didn't like it quite as much as Xanadu. Xanadu was a little bit better song.
Yeah,
overall.
Agreed.
Now, we've got about 2 weeks to go, I believe, before we will be reviewing the full Winery Dogs album 3.
Yep.
Finally, a new album, some new music.
Woohoo!
Finally.
It's about time. All right, then, Art of Dying. Ready for a Good Time.
Well, now this was one.
This is the one that you said I should know within the first couple seconds who it reminded me of.
Who is it?
To me, it was old school Nickelback.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is what we should have gotten from Get Rollin'.
Absolutely. I knew within 15 seconds. It's like, this is Nickelback.
This
oh, wait, no, it's not.
Old school.
But it should be.
This is old school Nickelback. What Nickelback started out being.
Sorry, kids. I did not give him anything other than the song and say, tell me who this reminds you of, right?
Correct.
Absolutely who I thought too. Nickelback.
Yep. This is a really damn good song. This is a solid 3.
Yes. When I heard this song, again, the exact same thing Dave just said. Old school Nickelback.
It's along the veins of Burn It to the Ground Tonight when they were hard rocking.
Yep. So I feel a little bit better now.
Little vindication.
I didn't think you'd come back and say, sounds like 84 Culture Club to me, Kev. But, okay. So I wasn't going insane when I thought immediately, first time I heard it, that's Nickelback. That's Nickelback.
No, that had the full-on guitar riff, drum beat, groove.
And by the way, Nickelback just announced the 2023 Get Rollin' Tour, which I think with our magical, mystical lawn passes,
we will be going to.
Now, if anybody out there wants to drop us a line and tell us what we should listen to when it comes to Brantley Gilbert, that would be a lot of help, because I have no clue who Brantley Gilbert is.
Nope, no clue. We're going to have to do some research on that one.
But, hey, Dave and I saw Nickelback once before with Buck Cherry, 3 Days Grace, probably, 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
God,
at least. Fort Wayne Coliseum.
Yep.
They were okay, weren't great, weren't bad.
No, it was a good show.
Yeah.
3 Days Grace killed
that. Was 3 Days Grace, I remember, was the best of the 3.
Yeah.
I'm not a Buck Cherry guy, so. But finally, we got canceled one time because of Chad Kroger's throat, another time with Nickelback because of COVID.
Yep.
So,
now, here we go.
It's rock and roll karma, baby. The gods are finally saying, you've waited long enough.
Here you go.
And we
Now,
better
as
get
long
Burn It
as-
to the Ground tonight.
As long as they don't play a lot off of Get Rollin', we will be fine.
They can play San Quentin.
And I can stop right there.
No, Pretty Little Missy. That wouldn't
That
be
was
bad.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, after that, done.
Done.
All right. Next week, 4 songs. Don't have an album for you, but 4 songs. New Rival Sons, Rapture. New Metallica, Screaming Suicide. New Bret Michaels, Back in the Day. Of course, another one we will be seeing this summer.
Yep.
At Party Gras with Night Ranger. And new Black Stone Cherry, Out of Pocket.
Yep. So we'll get you covered. It's all good.
Yep. Finally, wrapping up the music here. This is a very special week for me. And it's a very special week for the Conquistador as well. Same reasons on one level, different reasons for me. As we tape here on the 25th, tomorrow, January the 26th, happy birthday to Dave's son Connor.
Yep.
My nephew.
Spuddy turns 22.
And he shares a birthday with my man, my favorite rock and roll god. Every year I have to note this week, this day, tomorrow. This would have been the birthday of one Edward Van Halen. So, happy birthday to Connor. Here, upstairs, happy birthday to the great guitar god known as Edward Van Halen.
There we go.
All right, kids, coming up next, movies. We're going to talk about The Menu. Dave's going to catch up with The Pale Blue Eye. We'll have some movie news for you. Stay tuned. Dave and I will be right back.
Get your popcorn.
Now that we've let you into Frenzy Club, here are 3 rules. 1. You don't talk about Sports Frenzy 2.0. You listen to it on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Apple, and all other major podcast hosts. 2. 2 guys to a show. Kev Dave, the Maestro and the Conquistador. 3. 1 Sports Frenzy episode at a time. Until Saturday, when you get the weekend edition. Now get in there and let loose on some PC wussbags, will ya?
All right, kiddies, it's movie time on Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. I'm the Conquistador, Dave Height.
And I'm the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
We're recording here January 25th, 2023. This will drop Saturday the 28th on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Amazon, Audible, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, and Stitcher!
Check out the Facebook page. You can always find a link to this podcast, although you've probably found us already.
That's right.
But you have options, as Dave just mentioned.
And don't forget the regular sports segment that we do that drops on Thursdays.
That's right. Again, you have options. You have a menu of choices. Oh, Kev, what a brilliant segue.
I think it is. And this would be the second course of the weekend edition.
Yes, we are going to review The Menu, which just hit recently on HBO Max. Very surprising success at the box office late in 2022. Very hard movie for me to review. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, I know what you're talking about.
There are plot holes in this movie. There are inconsistencies in this movie. But at the same time, I admire its creativity, its audacity. Ray Fiennes is perfectly cast as the chef.
Yes, he is. He's got the attitude, the balls to do what's being done.
It's a horror movie to an extent. It's social commentary to an extent. It's almost a little bit more like The Glass Onion in a way that we just reviewed recently. Again, a bunch of people secluded on an island.
Yep. And you don't know what the hell's going on.
I liked it. I have to say this. I liked it. But again, it is not coherent completely. It is not consistent completely.
I love the premise behind it.
Yes.
I love what they're trying to do with it. But like you said, it's scattershot.
Yeah. There are moments when you're like, this is really creepy. And it's one of the great things about some film like this is that you try to put yourself in the position of the characters that are in it and say, what would I do to try to get out of this predicament?
Yeah.
Now, Anya Taylor-Joy, who I normally don't like, I'm sorry.
She's annoying in most things.
I'm trying not to be judgmental, but she is not an attractive woman. Her eyes have got to be like at least 15 feet apart. She's like a gecko.
It depends.
She's like from the neck down.
It depends on.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But it depends on how her makeup and hair is done.
But now the thing is, normally in the movies she's normally cast in, she portrays or plays creepy characters like in The Witch. Here she's actually supposed to represent normal people.
Yes.
She's the one
She's
sane...
the wild card who was a last-minute invitee to this highfalutin dinner.
Right. She is the one normal middle to lower class person stuck in the middle of a bunch of pretentious douchebags.
Yep, that about sums it up.
And of course, that throws the monkey wrench into the chef's plans.
Yeah, he can do nothing but focus on why she's there.
Why she won't eat.
Yeah.
So again, this is a tough movie to review because you have to admire the ambition, the idea behind it, as Dave said, the premise. And it's not fully executed as well as it could have been. I think it needed a rewrite or two to fill in the plot holes.
Yeah.
You got some really good recognizable faces in there. You got Judith Light, who we all know from Who's the Boss?
John Leguizamo.
You got Nicholas Hoult, who I was kind of happy to see die.
Yeah, he needed it.
But I still have questions about his character that I think they could have done better. I don't want to spoil.
No,
there was something there
that much missing on the backstories of why they're there for this particular night. It's alluded to, but it's not fully fleshed out.
Right. Some people, you kind of understand why they're there and why the chef does what he does. Others seems a little arbitrary and petty.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a week 3. I'm going to give the menu a week 3.
I am there with you as well. A week 3. It could have been a 4 if the plot holes would have been filled in and fleshed out.
Completely agree. This had potential to be phenomenal. It has the
bones to be one of the best movies of the year.
Yes. Completely agree.
But they just missed it.
Completely agree. Yeah. Again.
And Anna Taylor-Joy's character, the way she pulls it out is brilliant.
Yep. And again, we don't spoil.
No.
We do our absolute best not to spoil. And I know what Dave's going for, and he's absolutely right.
Because she sees the one thing, recognizes it, and acknowledges, which is all the chef wants.
A primal urge memory in the chef.
Yep. Acknowledgement for what he does.
Right. So in that sense, that's why I thought it was a little more, again, not only because of the setting, but had that little Glass Onion, Knives Out feel to it.
Yeah.
Not completely.
Not
it's
completely,
a hybrid.
A little bit.
It's got the mystery. It's got the horror.
The
gore,
the
to a
drama,
certain extent. The all-out psycho nut job stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of psycho nut job stuff.
So it's worth watching just for the glorious failure of the creativity.
Yeah, you see what it could have been, and that was a frustrating part, but it was still an enjoyable film.
Yep, I agree completely with Dave. Could have been a 4-star movie if it had been done a little bit better, written a little bit better, holes plugged.
Yep. But alas. All right, I have to play catch up with The Pale Blue Eye, our 1800s murder mystery with a lot of the cast from Harry Potter. There were a few of the actors.
See, I did not know that.
Yes, Edgar Allan Poe was played by the actor who played Harry's cousin.
See, I think I stopped Harry Potter after 3 movies.
Okay. And then the head of the Academy was Peter Pettigrew.
I knew he looked familiar.
So yeah, there were
a
couple of little teasers in there from that, but this one I really enjoyed. I liked the pacing to it. It had enough little twists to kind of keep you guessing. Just when you thought it was going one place, it kind of veered into a different direction. And then the end was just, holy crap, I should have seen it coming. But it was very well executed. So, and of course, Christian Bale's just brilliant as always.
As always. Christian Bale's awesome as always.
So, just don't want to give a lot away with this. Again, it's got a little bit of a horror effect to it. Mystery, supernaturally type. But basically, it's a murder mystery at heart. Very well executed. Yeah, I give it a solid 3.5.
You're a little bit more up on it than I was. I gave it a 3 last week. I liked it. Again, like the menu, very similar to me.
Couple of plot holes that you...
And a lot of, in the case of The Pale Blue Eye, you got to take a big leap of faith in terms of coincidence. How the 2 major plot lines
kind of
come
intersect
together. Like you said, at the end. Here's the thing.
So how much was...
One of the things that drives me crazy about watching a movie on streaming, or even looking at anything about a movie ahead of time, which I don't like to do, is when you're watching, you pause it because you got to go to the bathroom, you pause it because you want to go get some popcorn, and you see how much is left. And that's the thing that killed me with The Pale Blue Eye, is that I paused it when we think things have been figured out. And I'm like, there's 30 minutes left? Oh, shit. There's something coming. There's a twist coming.
It was actually one of those rare nights where we actually got through it without having to pause it.
No dog issues,
No,
no bathroom runs, nothing?
Nope. It was one of those where, and watched it with my wife and my mom. The dog was sacked out. He was dead to the world the night we watched it, and it was just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I thought the second part of the plot was a little bit too much of a coincidence to fit in like it did with the first. Now that being said, it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying now.
But
One
it
of
was
the
just
things
a leap of faith.
One of the things, I don't know if it was you or your wife, Mrs. C, had mentioned that there were people that you knew who were saying that this was better than The Glass Onion. I'm like, bullshit.
No, it's
was not even close.
It was not as good as The Glass Onion.
No, and there are people out there ripping on The Glass Onion. I still don't understand why. The Glass Onion was great. This is good.
This is good. The Glass Onion was phenomenal.
Yes. Now, this is, again, in the vast streaming landscape, this is a very, very, very solid, good movie.
It's worth your time.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Again, if not just for Christian Bale, again, with another great performance. But, like you said, Melling, the kid that plays Edgar Allan Poe, is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome as Edgar Allan Poe.
Such a good job.
Yeah, the acting is brilliant in this movie. It's not the acting. It's, again, felt like to me the plot was a little contrived, a little too much coincidence to bring everything together.
Yeah. But very well acted, very well put together.
Yeah. All right. So it's that time of year. Awards. This was a big week. A big week. The Oscar nominations and the Razzies both came out this week.
Yep. Let's let Hollywood pat themselves on the back yet again.
Well, let's talk about the Razzies first. Let's talk about the worst, and then we'll get to the quote-unquote best.
There you go.
Just talking about some of the major nominees with the Razzies, movies, actors, actresses that got the most quote-unquote recognition. Did you watch? You're going to have to refresh my memory. Did you watch the entire movie Blonde or just part of it?
I subjected myself to the whole thing.
You did watch the whole thing?
I did watch the whole thing.
That was like one of the runaway multiple nominations
for the Razzies.
But hold that thought. We'll get again to Blonde.
Did I mention in that Ana de Armas was pretty?
Yeah, I gotta watch it now. Tom Hanks actually got 2 Razzies. Not 1, but 2.
I heard about this.
Unbelievable. One of the greatest actors of our generation for Pinocchio and for Elvis.
Yep, for his portrayal as Geppetto and as Colonel Tom Parker. And I have to say, after watching Elvis, he deserves it for his portrayal as Parker.
We're going to get to that in a second, too. Now, Jurassic Park Dominion, definitely worthy of Razzies.
Well, yeah. The cheese factory that it was.
Well, and, Bryce Dallas Howard, worst actress, duh. And, she, oh my God, the past people had told me I needed to lose weight. No, you just need to learn how to act. Just because you're Opie's dad doesn't mean you get carte blanche. Nepo baby. There we go. Our favorite term of the last month. Nepo baby. Bryce Dallas Howard, premier example of a Nepo baby. She's pretty, though.
She's pretty, but she can't act.
Nope. A movie that I actually kind of like, Morbius, got multiple nominations.
Yes.
And Firestarter, which we will get to later. Not a great movie.
No, it was not a great movie.
But for other reasons, we will get to that later. Now we shift to the Oscars and bringing in a couple of these story threads that I just brought up. we talked about how in the Razzies, Blonde, of course, the Netflix movie about Marilyn Monroe, worst movie. A couple of the actors got nominated for worst supporting actor. But somehow, how does this make any sense shifting to the Oscars? Does Ana de Armas get nominated for Best Actress
in a bad movie?
This could be my argument again for Amsterdam, where you loved it or you liked it, and I hated it, but I told you I could still see Christian Bale being my favorite actor of the year.
See, now, Armas portraying Marilyn Monroe, the range of emotions she went through, the slow descent into insanity.
The boobies?
The boobies.
Sorry.
No, she actually did a very good job in the role as an actress.
I've liked her as an actress.
All the emotions and everything else, through all the different phases in her life, what she was going through. And like I said, delving into the slow descent in madness.
Delving into the boobies?
Yeah.
No.
You're a one-track mind. No, she did a hell of a job.
Liked her. I liked her.
She was very good
in Knives Out. I liked her a lot in the last James Bond movie. I thought she might have been the highlight of No Time to Die.
Yeah.
An otherwise mediocre movie.
Yeah. No, she deserves recognition for her portrayal.
Now, I do want to bring up the fact that now they've nominated 10 movies. Again, they've expanded the field here. If they get enough votes, we're going to start going for more than 5. We're going to go up to 10. Well, this year they maxed out at 10. Dave and I have already seen 3. Okay, bear with me here. We both saw The Banshees of Inisherin. Both liked it.
Brilliant movie.
Great movie. So for once, maybe they got it right, although I don't think it's going to win. You saw Elvis.
Not a great movie. Should not be up there.
I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's something I've got to watch again. I feel like maybe on second viewing it might be better. I thought at the time, after watching it the first time, it was a glorious, creative mess. Which is a hell of a lot better than watching Frances McDormand shit in a bucket. So let's give it some credit at least for that.
There you go.
And then finally, of course, Dave and I both saw, as most people in America have, Top Gun Maverick. I thought it was derivative. I thought it was a carbon copy of the first. You liked it a little better.
Yeah, but it's still, at the end of the day, it wound up being Star Wars A New Hope and Iron Eagle.
There you go. So out of the other movies on this list, I can guarantee we're not going to see Triangle of Sadness or Women Talking. Guaranteed. That ain't happening. I don't know when the Fabelmans, if it hits Peacock, I don't know.
I have
Do
no
I really
desire.
want to watch this self-aggrandizing portrait of Steven Spielberg's family?
No.
Talking about, oh my God, how wonderful my family was and how much they helped me along and how much they made me the ultimate success that I am. Bite me! Bite me! Or better yet, have Jaws the shark bite you!
That would be even better.
Dave and I have a problem with Tar, which hits Peacock this Friday.
Who cares about a conductor?
I might watch it. I might watch it just to see. Just to see, once again.
The pretentious crap that they throw out there.
Just to remind myself.
Why you don't watch acclaimed movies.
I watched the first half an hour of Elvis before I had the issue with my HBO feed that night. What I saw Did not impress me, so I probably will not watch that. I don't know about All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix. The only problem I have with that is that it's subtitled, and I just don't.
No.
Squid Game is about the only thing I've watched in the last 15 years with
Why?
subtitles.
Why would we want to watch All Quiet on the Western Front again?
It's supposedly a fantastic perspective. Different
Don't
perspective.
care. It's been done. The hell with it.
And then, of course, Dave and I will be in line this weekend together, holding hands to watch Avatar: The Way of Water.
Not.
We are boycotting Avatar.
Harumph.
We boycotted the first one. We will boycott the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one.
All the way up to 20, whatever he wants to
I
do.
don't want to watch blue-skinned, freaky people riding fireflies. I don't care. I don't want to watch it. And you notice how James Cameron somehow didn't get a Best Director nomination. You know why? Because Hollywood's probably sick of him because it takes him 47 years to make a goddamn movie. Oh, and by the way, they're putting out Titanic again in theaters.
Why?
It's some 25th anniversary,
Who
35th
cares?
anniversary.
Who gives a
crap? And they're conducting
Hey,
actual
guess what,
scientific...
kids? The boat sinks.
They're actually paying. Cameron is paying scientists to find out if DiCaprio's character could have gotten on the piece of wood at the end. Because he's tired of everybody speculating.
Oh my God.
Get over yourself. Jesus God. Linda Hamilton's got to be thanking her lucky stars every night
to get
that
the
she
hell
got away
from
from
that
you.
Psycho nut job.
Jesus God. All right. Couple movie little tidbits before we go into TV and streaming. And we will be playing America's favorite game show this week.
Yes! In honor.
Dumb asses or not. But Dave and I loved 2 seasons. Would have loved more. Didn't quite get it from AMC. The great, the glorious Lodge 49.
Great show.
This I have to bring this up just because the irony of this is so fantastic. So cool. Of course, Lodge 49 starred the offspring of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, one Wyatt Russell.
Yep.
He's been an Overlord. Very cool actor. Like him very, very, very much. But now, what did his character do in Lodge 49?
Which time?
What was his initial profession?
Surfer or pool cleaner.
Wyatt Russell's latest movie project. He will be starring in a horror movie called Night Swim about a haunted swimming pool.
Now he's typecast.
That is called movie karma, bitches. Sorry, I had to get that in.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, I'm going to end the movie segment with some downer news. Number one, I just feel like we got to bring it up. Alec Baldwin has been charged for involuntary manslaughter in the shooting that happened on the set of Rust. Now, I've heard people say they're actually going to continue filming the movie.
Yeah, which, I'm sorry, that's in very poor taste.
I never got a confirmation on that, but I'd heard secondhand.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm with you. That's terrible.
That's awful.
Terrible, terrible. And anybody who goes out to see it, knowing that somebody died during the making of it, I don't know.
This way, I know you can say the same thing about The Crow.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's true. Yeah. And unfortunately, actor Julian Sands has been missing for 2 weeks after going hiking in the San Gabriel Mountains in California.
Amidst all the mudslides and everything else going
Now,
on.
I did read, I believe it was early today, that they found somebody else.
Yeah,
who
there
had
was
been
another
lost.
missing hiker that they found.
And alive.
Yeah.
So you got to still have hope, but
it's not looking good.
After all this time, yeah, not optimistic. So what you can be optimistic about is that Dave and I are going to be right back talking about that 90s show, Night Court, and again, playing dumbass or not.
I have also finally finished Peaky Blinders, the series.
There you go. Dave and I will be right back, kids. Stay tuned. Hey, kids, ready for a blast of dairy goodness? Pick up Sports Frenzy 2.0 milk at your local grocery store. Remember, when you drink Sports Frenzy 2.0 milk, you're not only enjoying a healthy treat, you're helping to locate missing sports heroes of the past and present. Our cartons and jugs feature pictures of Peng Shui, Ryan Leaf, and Sammy Sosa as we do our part to find the lost icons of the last 30 years. And don't forget our special weekend edition chocolate milk containers, available on Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, because they feature celebrities like Lindsay Lohan, Helen Hunt, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Pick up a gallon today. All right, kids, third and final segment here on the Weekend Edition Sports Frenzy 2.0 taping here on January the 25th, 2023. This will drop Saturday morning, the 28th, your hangover cure, your cure for your rejection at the bar last night. One quick note. I last week talked quickly about Jack Reacher, the latest from Lee and Andrew Child, No Plan B. We're going to put that off till next week. So next week you will get Literary Frenzy, our review, full review of No Plan B. That leads us into TV and streaming for this week.
It's a lot going on this week, kids.
Yep. I talked briefly about The Last of Us. Dave is going to catch up here. So that's another one we're going to hold off on any further discussion until next week. But 2 reboots / revival shows lead the way here on our TV and streaming talk this week. That 90s show and Night Court. And then Dave has got to discuss one of his favorite shows over the last decade or so. He wrapped up Peaky Blinders.
Yep, the BBC show that's been airing on Netflix.
All right, so let's knock these 2 old school / new shows out.
Yep. Let's begin with Night Court, since it has the more storied history as what was part of NBC's must-see TV lineup on Thursday nights.
Yeah, I believe it went from 84 to 92.
Yep. So,
of course, Harry Anderson was the court judge.
Yep.
You had Bull, and then, of course, the holdover character from both is Dan Fielding.
Yep, played by John Larroquette. He is back, bamboozled back into the court by Harry's daughter, who is now the judge.
Played by Melissa Rauch of
Yep.
Big Bang Theory fame.
Yep. Hell of a job with the set. Looks exactly the same. The courtroom, Harry's old office, the cafe, the cafeteria. I may have to watch another episode for full judgment. I'm not sold on it at this point. after the first two?
I've watched 3. No. Yeah, I've watched 3 because they aired 2
Right.
the opening night, and I did watch 3, which was last night's.
Yeah.
So I did watch last night's as well.
I've seen the opening 2. I have not seen the third one yet. The first one was kind of okay for some nostalgia stuff going through to it. But unless in the third episode the chemistry starts kicking in, I don't see it lasting long.
Walk away, Dave. Just walk away.
I don't like Melissa Rock at all as the lead judge. Abby Stone, I do not like her at all. I don't like the new cast of characters. I miss Bull. Now, John Larroquette is the one stabilizing factor here.
Right.
How can you not love his snarky, sarcastic, I hate everything and everybody attitude? But again, he's got a heart of gold buried somewhere deep, dark, down in that dark exterior.
And
But-
it's always been there.
No, after watching the third episode, I basically took it off my DVR.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't have nearly the chemistry.
There's no
the problem
comedy.
is you miss Harry Anderson. His quote unquote daughter doesn't have anything to offer.
No, that through the first two, I think in the first one I chuckled a couple of times. I didn't laugh at all during the second one. It's just got nothing. It's forced, and like we said, there's no chemistry among the cast.
No, I didn't
And
get anything
even
like
from
that
the
either.
original Night Court, you felt a chemistry right off the bat with everybody, and it's just not there.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm going to save you from watching the third one and just tell you should probably, again, walk away. Walk away.
There we go.
This is one where we should walk away. Now, it's getting good ratings. It'll probably get renewed.
It's
but
the
again,
nostalgia thing,
we've
and
seen
it's
it with
going to
Top
wear
Gun.
thin.
We've
It
seen
will
it
wear
now with
thin.
Night Court. So that brings us to Netflix. And that brings us to the revival of that 70s show. Now, 20 years later, that 90s show. New kids, same basement, Red and Kitty,
The center of it all.
with occasional guest appearances by almost all of the original cast.
Yep. Obviously.
One rapist not included.
included. You will not see Hyde. But
I have to admit, I don't know if it's my sentimental Grinch heart. 10 episodes, half hour, roughly, little bit less. Of course, hoping for syndication and putting commercials in there. So 10 half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Because here's the thing. Even though it moves from the 70s to the 90s, the heart of the show is still in the right place. It's still
the coming of age.
They're not miscreants to the extent where you hate them. They remind you of your youth and the things that you did and the conflicts that you had externally, internally.
It's still the goofy, quirky kids trying to find their way like the original cast.
Yep. And I just loved it. I loved it. I was so mad when the 10th episode ended because I was like, this is it. This is all I get.
No.
This is all I get.
We need more.
Good news is that I saw today that even though it was only 3 days out of this new 7-day cycle they have for the ratings for TV and streaming, it broke into the top 5 after only 3 days, as opposed to other shows having a full week. So hopefully Netflix will see that and say, let's renew it.
We'll do it again.
But I just loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was actually a seamless jump from that 70s show to that 90s show.
It was the writing, the acting, they did not miss a beat.
Nope.
The characters were perfect throughout. They
and
just
that was my
fell
concern.
right in.
Was the kids? I was worried the kids were going to annoy the hell out of me. And for the most part, I was fine with it. Even the gay
kid,
the gay Oriental kid, who I just figured, well, he's Fez.
Yeah.
Except Fez ended up being heterosexual. This kid's gay. That's fine. I liked him. He's still funnier now. I loved a 3.5 Frenzies.
3.5. It is for me as well. Jen and I watched this. We binged it, and we loved every moment of it.
I'll probably watch it again within the next month.
Yeah, easily.
You can blow through the whole thing
It's
in 5
easy.
hours.
I mean, Red and Kitty, of course, being the heart and soul of it.
Didn't miss a beat.
I mean, you would never have
I felt
imagined.
bad, though, that Red's got a cane now. I wonder if
I
that's...
think they
wonder if
worked
that's
it
Kurtwood Smith.
Maybe they had to work it in somehow with the bike incident.
True.
Because it was just that last little bit that they worked.
I hope it's not Kurtwood Smith having.
He may have had hip replacement or a knee replacement at some point during the filming that they had that in to cover up for it.
Yes, and of course there are the in-jokes from the 90s, about somebody renting Clerks.
Oh, yeah, good stuff.
The music updated a little bit for the 80s and the 90s, and I loved at the end the song they used to fade out on the last episode, which seemed perfect, absolutely perfect, even though it was an 80s song.
Yeah, no, it still worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
No, cannot rave enough about that 90s show where Night Court failed in a reboot with no chemistry. Everything was still there for that 90s show. The kids gelled very well together.
Yep.
And it was just seamless.
Yep. Loved it. Fantastic. Again, 3.5 Frenzies. Cannot recommend it much more. That leads us to Peaky Blinders.
Yes, finally, after a few years, was it 4? I think between season 5 and season 6, we've lost a huge cast member who died from health issues. Aunt Polly is no longer there, but they worked it into the ending of season 5. So season 6 brings a finale to the story of the Shelbys, the East London gang who've gone from stick-ups and robberies and bootlegging to trying to be pillars of the London community by joining Parliament, getting a run in there. But Tommy always has one last job. And in this one, he wants to deal heroin over into America to get everything out of his warehouse, dealing with the Boston mob, while also dealing with the fascist regime that's trying to take over through Europe and into London. So you're getting ready for the onset of World War II here in the mid-30s. So family dramas finally coming to a head. Very satisfying on how it was going. Family tragedies. They left it open. Maybe we'll get a movie. We will see.
Left or right? Left or right?
Death or life? No, it's It's so brilliantly written. Cillian Murphy is phenomenal
He's a
playing
great
Tommy
actor.
Shelby.
He's a great actor.
All the characters in here are so well portrayed. You got the gangsters you love, the gangsters you hate, the good guys you hate. It's just such a good series. 3.5 overall for the entire thing.
There you go, kids.
It just
I hope
took too long.
If I had more time,
They're like 6 episode seasons.
I hope to get to it. I started it. I did. And it wasn't terrible. It just...
Now that we finally have the completion, you can go back and get to it. Animal Kingdom.
Don't. You know how I feel about Animal Kingdom. I love Animal Kingdom.
And I got through it. It took me some time.
So what you're doing is you're playing that card.
I'm playing the card.
To guilt me into watching Peaky Blinders.
I'm playing the card.
All right. We'll see.
Besides, it's got Finn Cole.
From Animal
Kingdom.
Yep. Yeah, I knew that.
He started in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Yep. All right, couple shows. Couple popular shows coming to an end here in the next year or so. NCIS Los Angeles. A little bit of a shock. Makes me feel really fucking old. Tell you that. This isn't the original NCIS.
No.
This is the spinoff with LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell, ending after 14 seasons.
Yeah.
This thing's been on for 14 seasons. God, I'm going to die next week. Jesus Lord.
Yeah, and NCIS itself is still rolling along.
I would have thought honestly, I am not joking. If you'd come to me before I'd heard this, said, how long has NCIS Los Angeles been on? I would have probably said 7, 8 seasons. 14 seasons? Jesus God! And on Netflix, the saga of Cobra Kai will come to an end with the upcoming season 6. It's another one I want to watch.
I know. I want to get to it eventually as well. 6 already? Wow.
Yep. Wrestling news here this week and next week. Yes! Yes!
And here you go.
Next week, of course, my recap of the Royal Rumble this weekend. This past Monday night, of course, props to Monday Night Raw 30-year anniversary. How's that make you feel?
Whoa.
How old does that make you feel?
Whoa.
30th anniversary show this past Monday, Monday Night Raw.
True.
They pulled out Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Kurt Angle, D-Generation X, all the big stars.
It was old home week, huh?
Yep.
They got them all out of the retirement community.
Yeah, some of them look better than others.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
You have Reels, right?
Yes, that's where I watch OP live.
Well, now you can watch the latest wrestling league. Major League Wrestling
Oh, God.
is now going to be on Reels every week, Dave. So you can watch Major League Wrestling. I have no idea who any of these. I looked at they listed like 8 or 9 wrestlers, their big stars.
And no clue who they are.
No clue. And then finally, our girl, the future ex-Mrs. Kevin Crane, Mandy Rose, of course, tragically fired from WWE and NXT for posting scandalous pictures of herself for money on Fan Time, whatever that is. She has now come out and said, I'm doing okay, everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
She says she has made $1 million off of the scandalous pictures that got her fired from WWE. So,
yeah, I'm sure she made more from that than she did in the last 2 years on wrestling.
So Mandy's doing okay. It's okay.
She's okay.
Yeah, she can support me. Actually, she's engaged to some like hot Italian dude, so
Of course.
I got a lot of work to do, man. Charm and charisma can only take me so far. The train wreck of a body, got to get over that. All right, now it's time. This is a long list, unfortunately, kids. Moments of silence this week in the entertainment world, and this is a long list. Sticking with wrestling. Anybody who knows Ring of Honor wrestling, of course, bought out by AEW, knows the Briscoes, one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest tag team in Ring of Honor wrestling history. One half of that team, Jay Briscoe, passed away. Very, very young. Very sad to hear about that. They always kind of came off, I don't know if it was the shtick or what it was, toothless hillbillies, but definitely way too young for Jay Briscoe to be passing. Also, a band that Dave and I saw with our compatriot, the Elder Statesman, about a decade ago. Not in the band, but the band named themselves after this gentleman. Marshall Tucker passed away.
There you go.
Another music reference, another music moment of silence. A band that never got the attention they really deserved, but one of the forefathers of the grunge movement. Back in the 90s, Screaming Trees. Bass player Van Connor, one of the co-founders of the band, passed away recently. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
This one kind of hurts. Grew up on Sesame Street.
Co-creator Lloyd and Morissette. No relation Atlantis.
No.
Passed away.
93.
This one just hit today. And this one kind of bothers me because I know him from when I was growing up, and he was like one of the big, young, bright stars in TV and movies. Controversial show, James at 15, and star of one of arguably Steven Spielberg's greatest adaptation. Not Stephen King. Not Steven Spielberg.
Stephen King's greatest adaptation from book to movie in Salem's Lot.
And that would be one Lance Kerwin. Barely in his 60s.
Yeah.
And then finally, I save him for last. I've pissed off a lot of people talking about this over the last week. I don't care. He treated the death of Eddie Van Halen like crap. He came out when people asked him about it. He said, meh. Well, here's what I've got to say about the death of one hippy-dippy, overrated rock and roll, quote-unquote, star, David Crosby's death. Meh. Sorry, I don't care. We try to be respectful on this show because he was not respectful of Eddie Van Halen. David Crosby's death, you deal with it. Meh.
Never cared for his stuff, so doesn't faze me one bit.
All right, David, time to play America's favorite game show.
The dumbass or not.
We're going to start off with the French company.
Oui.
Danone. I think that's how you say it. Danone. I don't think it's like the yogurt Dannon. Could be, but it's not spelled the same. Anyway. Talking about going too far with the woke crap. French company Danone has decided that in order to reduce methane emissions from cows, they are now going to put masks and diapers on all of their cows going forward.
What the hell are they thinking?
There are pictures out there of cows in
So
diapers.
so what are
and
they
masks.
doing with the diapers?
The diapers aren't to catch the poo. The diapers are to keep the farts from going out into the atmosphere.
Oh my God.
I know. It's amazing I have to try to rationalize this stuff.
No, that makes absolutely zero sense. Oh my God.
And they're talking about how they're trying to move
What
it over
a
here
waste-
to America.
What a waste of damn money. And of course, they're going to charge the consumers to offset the cost of these stupid ass diapers.
And
Absolutely
masks. Don't forget
and
masks.
That's so damn stupid.
So, dumbass?
Oh, completely.
All right, this one's going to hurt.
That's in the running for dumbass of the year already.
This one's going to hurt. I'm warning you right now. This one's going to hurt. Because we like her normally. We respect her. Pretty good actress. Been in movies that we love.
Everybody has a moment.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis posted a picture recently on Twitter of some furniture, some chairs in her house that she wanted everybody to see. Here's the problem. In the background, a picture of, not a painting, a picture, a photo blown up and framed of a naked child in a suitcase.
So what?
Oh, you're okay with this? Okay. I have failed for once.
No, I was going to call her out as the dumbass for apologizing and reposting without it there. Own it. Is it a family member?
It's just weird. Naked kid in a suitcase?
Who knows who it is? Is it her daughter, son, somebody?
Okay. All right. Moving on. Not a clean sweep this week. Going back to the Razzies, which we talked about in our movie segment. I got a feeling I might now. I don't know. I might get screwed on a lot of these. The Razzies apologized for nominating Ryan Kira Armstrong, the young actress in Firestarter, apologized for her being nominated for Worst Actress because since she's 12 years old, it seemed cruel. She's too young.
Don't apologize.
Okay, you're back. Good to see you're back. Because if you're going to do this to your kids, you're going to put them into the meat grinder known as Hollywood.
Then you have to live with the repercussions.
And if the Razzies want to say she was a bad actress, which
she was, so be it. Not everybody can be a Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, and she's not exactly,
lighting the world on fire as a great actress.
Laurence Olivier, yeah. All right, you guys have an Xbox at home, right?
Yes, Connor has one.
Xbox will now be updating all of their units, forcing everybody who has an Xbox to be quote-unquote carbon aware. So now the Xbox will go into shutdown or energy-saving mode without you having the choice.
Bullshit. Screw you, Microsoft. You will not tell me how long I can leave my unit on.
It does, all juvenile joking aside.
It shuts down on its own anyway. It shuts down from lack of activity.
Just show it a picture of B. Arthur. It'll shut down real quick. And it's also supposedly going to have, because of this, slower boot times. Again, show me a picture of B. Arthur.
And you'll see a slower boot time.
All right, finally, a couple stupid ass junk food companies. I told everybody that these M&M's commercials were bullshit. The one with the mime and the one with the kid with the vines and face tattoos. I said, bullshit. Number one, we would not take the mime into the office party because he would have ruined everything.
Exactly.
And number two, nobody would have let their daughter date the guy with the face tattoos.
Correct.
But now M&M's realizes that people got upset. So now they're getting rid of the spokes candies.
Absolute stupidity.
And they're turning to Maya Rudolph.
Why?
And if you've seen these new commercials, they are painfully stupid. Painfully stupid.
Maya Rudolph's everything she does is painfully stupid.
She's like the 547th funniest female comedian in history.
She's not funny.
Not only them, but now A&W. Rudy, the root bear, after complaints, will now have jeans because people complained the bear didn't have any pants.
For the love of God, it's a freaking cartoon, you morons. For the love of all that's holy, would you idiots go away?
Because every time I go into the woods and see a bear, he's always wearing jeans. He's a conquistador.
He's the maestro.
Take care, kids. We will talk to you next week.